Hello there and welcome. I'm back from my trip. I'm back in the studio, and that means it's time for a better late than never character review video for the new Divine Akeha costume. Looking so cool. So once again, I'm always just stunned by how beautiful the character design and the weapon design. This time I think the weapon is like the coolest thing. Yeah, I mean, just look at that. That is so cool. In any case, we want to know if we should pull or not. And, you know, right off the bat, it's a tough sell having all of these amazing banners here. We have 2 limited collab banners that are still up. Still here until the 7th. And Akeha is here until the 14th. But there are going to be things right around the corner. We have new stories starting. We can expect something coming along with that. And be wise, because right after this, we're going to have summer anniversary. Of course, that's most likely July and August. But, you know, you don't want to be out of gems for that. And, of course, if you're a whale and you're buying everything anyway, go ahead and grab it. This is a great deal. You can just buy 1 pack for $80 and have a guarantee. And for a lot of people, $80 is a lot to buy a character. But for those of us that spend that anyway, that's really cool. Okay, now what about how, functionally good is she? Well, we can see she's got a really impressive base attack for a support unit. Everything here is geared towards support. This is exactly what we want for a subjugation support these days. Flat Valiance, so we can stack our buff stacks on top of that. This is a new unprecedented passive. All allies with the same affinity will get damage up by 15%, chain attacks 4 or more. So basically, you're going to look for that on your skills. 4 is kind of steep, but if it's your character skill or your weapon skill, you're good to go. So the thing here, just to clarify, same affinity. This means that the character has to be water, and they have to have a water weapon, and Akeha has to have a water weapon. Of course, if you're in subjugation, that's all taken care of, except for the same affinity part. So make sure that your DPS unit is actually a water DPS unit. You can see that here. Okay, HP is looking pretty good. Defense looking pretty good. And then the character skill. So on top of that awesome onslaught passive, we have a 5-hit with a decent multiplier. We have an attack buff for 30 seconds, not going to get you through knockdown, as like the source of prolonging, but it'll definitely help you stack. And 30% water buff. Amazing. So the fact that she's strong, and I've talked about this a little bit in previous reviews, we're seeing that our supports are getting stronger and stronger. It kind of started around Sino with Sino Noel, and then we had like Christmas Saryu, and we have the new Brother Nier. They're totally built for support, but they're also very strong. And what I really want out of that is that they're going to help me get to knockdown without wasting my DPS weapon skills. So what I really would love for an ideal wave, in that final combo leading up to knockdown, I want someone else to trigger knockdown and have my DPS have all the character skill and both weapon skills ready to go, so I can start with the character skill, follow it with the weapon skills, and be a little more guaranteed that I'm going to loop that character skill twice, because that's my main priority. I did just get all 5 of my SSS plus scores like I mentioned previously, so that's what I'm looking for. Now, I'm still at a place where I have to waste 1 or 2 of my DPS weapon skills, and then it just gets a little trickier looping that character skill. So if I know that I can use those weapon skills right after. So in any case, that's why having a stronger and stronger support unit, so like, for example, if I'm bringing Christmas Akeha, who's still like generally the best, her character skill doesn't have any hits on it. She's not built strong like this. She's not going to help. She's going to do almost no damage and help you get to knockdown. So it's going to be, it's not like it doesn't work. Christmas Akeha is still great. Of course, that brings us to the next main issue here. do you want to use Divine Akeha when Christmas Akeha exists? Do you want to keep Christmas Akeha in your wave 2 for that awesome sneaky recharge? If you don't know about that, maybe I should cover it or at least mention it briefly. When the Moose does that big nuke, it charges everyone's character skill. And if you trigger Christmas Akeha's skill to go directly after the Moose is queued for that, see, it doesn't trigger until the next turn, and it's an animation time skip. So when the Moose is like finishing the animation of that big nuke, Akeha can get that character skill in and without taking up time, because God, isn't that the most frustrating thing in Subjugation? How much time all these animations take, and you couldn't get to knockdown because the Moose shook its head, or all this stuff happens, you know, like Akeha casts her character skill and it just took so much time. I'm getting triggered over here, remembering Subjugation hell. In any case, you're able to use it and then it just gets recharged right away because, like I said, it happens on the next turn. Anyway, it seems a little off topic, but it actually applies here, because the main conundrum is, do I still want to use this awesome new Divine Akeha as support when Christmas Akeha exists? And it's looking like the answer is yes. You know, this is amazing, and it'll show up as a pursuit buff that you can still stack on top of. So bring that Courtly Devotion, go ahead and stack that. And yeah, one of my community members is just gunning after Subjugation scores, and that is Redgrave. And Redgrave posted this in my Discord. It says that new Akeha is crazy, and that's just wave 1. And you see up there that Red managed to get 400 million in wave 1 alone. Okay, so something you need to know about getting that SSS plus, if you're not, you know, accounting for combo bonus or anything like that, the number, that magic number you want to get to essentially is 267 million to secure your SSS plus, as long as no one dies. Okay, so I'm stoked if I just pass 267. And here, I've seen, you know, Red go crazy on Win Team and get like 300 on wave 1 alone. But look at this, 400. So I think it's safe to say that the new Divine Akeha is amazing as a water support. Of course, keep in mind that that's kind of a niche here, and that's all she does. So justifying pulling for her is, you know, a case where you already have a very developed account and you want to just up it a little more. Or maybe water is the one score you can't get, and this is what tips you over the edge. Okay, so is it worth a whole 200 pity? I don't know about that, especially, like I said, all of this other stuff right now is a lot more valuable and it's limited. But in general, this makes me wonder if, similar to Abyssal, where they all have the same group of passives, I wonder if all the new Divine costumes are going to have this new group of passives, in which case I'm going to hold out and pull for the ones in the element that I have the most trouble with. Okay, so those are my thoughts here, and let's take a look at this debris. This is really cool. It's a party support. For, you know, we love our boon debris. Well, this is party, 10%. And you can get those 5% by exalting a character. And I don't know how much that 5 really does, or in this case, the 10. Can't really comment too much about that. Well, let's go and look at this beautiful weapon. I love just the art design of this weapon. Okay, so an attack buff, cool. A Bold Vigor nuke. I hate those. I hate those. They're strong, but this 27-second thing is a real bummer. I don't know if I want to use this as a main hand, you know? For the buff. But at least, you know, stats are good. The attack stat is really nice. At least we can say that the group of passives is just so nice. Pursuit, and Liquid Boon, and I can't think of any other weapons off the top of my head that have that. So sure wouldn't mind having a bunch of copies of this to throw in the subs for my water DPS units. All right, that's how I feel about that. Along with Akeha in this banner, we have a Water Fist. And it looks like we have a Liquid Haste passive. A Ripper, which breaks the attack of the enemy. And a defense buff. And a defense passive. So, pretty good for sustain. But, I don't know. I really like that Red Eye staff for the Ripper. And it also has an attack buff. I believe I have that name right. The Bloody Saryu weapon. I like that as my Water Ripper weapon a lot better. I don't know if there's any reason I'd be gunning for this fist. I would take it and be happy I got it, I guess. Okay, then we have a 3-star sword that has a nice little set of passives here. So once again, I always feel like I'm saying the same thing about these 3-star weapons. This looks like a great sub weapon if you don't have anything better. So if you're lacking in your weapon roster, this could go down there in the subs, boost your damage nicely. Yeah, just, 3-star values here. A Ripper and a Bold Vigor nuke. Ugh. Yeah, wouldn't be using that as a main hand, that's for sure. Cool. So what should you pull? Well, if you are a Dolphin, you don't mind dropping the $80 for the guaranteed drop. I really like that, by the way. That's really cool. I'm kind of tempted for that, but I did get my water score already, and I think I'd rather wait and pull for one, for an element that I really need help with. I hope they keep going with this format, like I said earlier. Otherwise, if you're wondering where to pull, the collab banners are still best. Here we have top tier Arena Sniper Ronir. Of course, I have a video review of this banner. And he is hella strong, hella fast, and just great in Arena. I'm so glad I got him. I'm considering using my generic Awakening Stone trade to get him to A4, just so he's just even more ruthless. And then 2B is top tier Bold Vigor Nuker support. She's the one that carried my water score for subjugation. Very effective, very strong, and who doesn't love 2B? Maybe that's why you're here anyway, right? So this banner is incredible. And then personally, I really love the new protagonists, and I wasn't able to land them yet, even in 120 pulls. This Yuzuki is just top tier DPS who doesn't necessarily need to be wind. He's going to be great in any element and just absolutely busted with wind, and really needs the passive to be top tier, but otherwise strong. And then this Hina has the unprecedented Dauntless effect that I really want for possible future content that's really hard. Those Fateboard bosses love to line up a million nukes, or they have one slow load nuke that you just can't survive sometimes. And this would be, put that a little more in easy mode. Really want her. I love the two protagonists, and that's where I'm pulling myself. So yeah, so that kind of takes priority off of this. And then keep in mind, again, like I said, that new stuff is right around the corner, and then, eventually summer and anniversary, where you're most likely going to want a huge gem stash ready for that. Cool. So those are my thoughts on this banner. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.